Good evening. I'd like to call the General Administration and Personnel Committee for the Village of Hoffman Estates for July 2nd, 2018. May I have a roll call, please?
Chairman Arnett.
Present.
Vice Chairman Mills.
Present.
Trustee Stanton.
Present.
Trustee Newell.
Present.
Trustee Palafis.
Present.
Trustee Gata.
Present.
Mayor McLeod.
Thank you. We do have a quorum. If I can request an approval of minutes for June 18th, 2018.
So moved. I'll second.
Any questions? Correct? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We have 2 items under new business. Number 1 is request approval to dispose of village records that have exceeded their state-required retention period.
So moved. I'll second.
Any questions, Rachel? Mayor?
Yeah, what is the time frame where we have to keep records?
Mayor, it's different for every type of item.
Okay.
It ranges from 1 year to 7 years and permanent for some of our documents, but every type of item has a different requirement.
Okay, so this list you have here, this is what we can get rid of legally without any
Correct.
problem?
Per state statute, yes.
Okay. As long as they're following the state statute there.
You are complete.
Okay, good.
Trustee Palafis?
Does our state statute allow for them to be electronic?
Yes, we can keep documents electronic. If they're never in paper form, we can keep them electronic and not have to worry about it. If they've ever been created as a paper form, we have to request approval to get rid of it. So we are moving towards having things solely electronically, and we're going to be updating our application with the state to account for that. So we are working towards that endeavor.
Thank you.
Bev, can you come
Bev,
up?
you need to be on a mic.
Yeah, you got to be on the mic. Madam Clerk.
But things that we have to keep permanently, like the minutes, we can put them electronically, but we still have to keep them in paper copy forever.
So both?
Ordinances,
Uh-huh.
resolutions.
Until somebody, as I told our state guy, until like the board mix in the records department of the state gets a little bit more progressive, maybe, then maybe they'll go ahead and vote on if, as long as they're electronic. I mean, if we're keeping everything else electronically, what's the difference? But,
The state of Illinois, 200 years from now, they may do it.
yeah, maybe.
Thank you. Anybody else? Trustee Stanton?
On the police disposal, the habitual sex offender registration goes for, I guess, 20 years, 97 to 2006. Does that list then go on a new list so that those same people are still listed?
Yes, because if they're lifetime, they go on, but if they've deceased, obviously they go off.
Okay.
Anybody else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Item number 2, request approval of contract for Phase 2 of writing the History of the Village of Hoffman Estates book to Dr. Mark Reynolds in an amount not to exceed $30,000 to be paid from funds donated specifically for this purpose.
So moved.
I'll second.
Does staff have anything they'd like to add?
No, Dr. Reynolds is here in the audience. We went through the process outlined in the staff memorandum, and he's prepared to move forward if that's what the committee and the board chooses.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Trustee Palafis?
Will it be done before the 60th anniversary?
As the letter of agreement says, the manuscript will be done by September. If it can be done faster, I'm sure Dr. Reynolds will work to do that. The difference is whether or not it will actually be published in book form. Obviously, you have to find a publisher who wants to publish it, if they will publish it at their cost. Otherwise, we have the option of self-publishing, which we can look at that time.
Anybody else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Moving on to reports for information only. Number 1 is Cable TV Monthly Report, deferral requested. Okay.
Move to defer.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Opposed? Okay. Ayes have it.
Excuse me, I thought that we don't take a vote on these.
So if you're deferring something, you're not taking an action to do anything with it, other than you can't receive and file something you don't have. So it's okay to defer the receiving and filing.
Okay.
Or you could have just skipped it and gone on to the next two. Either way's fine.
Very good.
Item number 2, Human Resources Management Monthly Report. Any objections? Okay, we have received and filed this. Number 3, Legislative Operations and Outreach Monthly Report. Any objections or? Okay, we've also received and filed this report. President's report.
Wait for the board meeting, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. I see nothing in other, no items in review, and can I have a motion for an adjournment?
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, we are adjourned.
I would like to call to order the Transportation and Road Improvement Committee for July 2nd, 2018. Would the secretary please call the roll?
Chairman Mills,
Present.
Vice Chairman Stanton,
Present.
Trustee Arnett,
Present.
Trustee Newell,
Present.
Trustee Palafis.
Present.
Trustee Gata,
Present.
Mayor McLeod.
Present.
Thank you. Look for a motion to approve the minutes of June 18th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any corrections needed? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. This evening, we only have a report, and that is for informational purposes only. The Transportation Division Monthly Report. Mr. Hanky, did you wish to highlight anything in that?
Nothing this evening.
Okay, any questions? Yes, Mayor.
Yeah, the PACE facility, do we know when that's going to be? They're still working on the parking lot, apparently. Do they know when it's going to crank up?
They're looking at August now, I've heard, just
Okay.
as of this morning. There's actually some work related to NICOR and some of the lighting for the underpasses of the ramps that needs to be completed.
Is that a comment issue, too?
It is not, no.
Okay.
No.
Trustee Palafis.
I just wanted to thank Mr. Hanke. At the last meeting, I asked you for some bullet points for the Bikeways Advisory Committee in Schaumburg. Those were very well received. Thank you.
Good, no problem, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions for Mr. Hanky? All right, this report will be received and filed as presented. President's report.
Wait for the board meeting, Madam Chair.
We have anything else to come before this committee this evening? Don't see anyone for this one. We do still have one item in review. That's discussion of Steeple Hill fence and gate near Alcoa Lane and Washington Boulevard. It has been requested, instead of having it on our committee meeting on August 6th, that this go as a special committee on August 20th. Is that correct, staff?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Do I need to do a motion or have a motion for that or anything, since it's in review?
I don't believe so. We will be notifying all the residents.
That was my next comment, was make sure everyone's made aware of that, and maybe put something on the TV channel just to
We will.
remind them, because I know several people are looking to that. Seeing nothing else for this committee, I look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Signify.
Aye.
Thank you. All those opposed? We are adjourned.
Happy to signify.
Yeah.
Moving on. I'd like to call to order the Planning, Building, and Zoning Committee for the Village of Hoffman Estates on this July 2nd, 2018. Roll call, please.
Chairman Stanton,
Present.
Vice Chairman Arnett,
Present.
Trustee Mills,
Present.
Trustee Newell,
Present.
Trustee Palafis.
Present.
Trustee Gata,
Present.
Mayor McLeod.
Present.
Thank you. We have a quorum. Approval of the minutes of June 18th, 2018. Anybody
So
want to make a
moved.
motion? Thank you.
Second.
Anybody notice any corrections or deletions that need to be made in the minutes? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. New business. Request approval of an ordinance amending sections 7-8-9 and 11-1-2F of the Hoffman Estates Municipal Code regarding tree maintenance, grass height, and outdoor storage.
So moved.
I'll second.
Peter, do you want to tell us about this?
Yeah, just very simply, this ordinance that's presented tonight is consistent with the discussion at the June meeting, addressing the three items mentioned. Probably most significantly is the reduction in the grass height to 8 inches, which will make Hoffman Estates consistent with most surrounding communities. And the other two items regarding damaged trees and outdoor storage were really just strengthening language in our code for things that we generally enforce, but these changes will help us be a little bit more effective. That's it.
Mayor?
How do we define what a damaged tree is? It's not a dead tree, it's a damaged tree.
Sure. Essentially, there are nursery standards as far as how trees should be pruned, and standard forms that trees should be in. The nature of what we would be talking about would be things that are significantly damaged, such as a tree struck by lightning where the main central trunk is split and half the tree is fallen over laying on the ground, but it may still have growth and technically not be dead. We've actually had instances where some residents have started removing a tree, cut down half of it, halfway down, and left it, and decided it was too hard or too expensive, and situations like that are not real common but do happen. We wanted to have a little stronger language in our code. Obviously, this is not going to be regulating how people prune their trees. It's really for the more significant altering the structural form of a tree, or it could never regain its shape or its form.
I've got a problem myself with the language where it says damage. It shall be unlawful for any owner to retain any damaged or topped tree on private property. I mean, that sounds like we're making it a crime for them to have that tree still on their property. And I just don't feel that that's proper language here. We don't want to really make it a crime.
Then what we would ask is that this item be deferred, and we'll try to come back. The whole goal here is to deal with issues that we've actually been confronted with. We will bring in our arborist to look at the tree. So if somebody's, let's say, taken a 40-foot tall tree and they've topped it, where half of it's gone, that's severely damaged. That will never regain its form. That's what we're talking about. But we will then work with them to get the tree removed. We've had instances where trees have been knocked down by weather, and they're leaning on their side, but they have growth. The main part of the tree is dead, but they have growth coming out of the old trunk. It's still attached. That's severely damaged. It may be hard to get it as far as the comfort I think that would all be more comfortable with, but we have some significant issues that need to be addressed because of emerald ash borer on private property.
Sure.
And so we'll have to work on the language.
Mayor?
Could we amend this to do items 1 and 2?
Sure.
And then bring this other one back?
Absolutely.
I would so move.
Karen, did you have a question?
That was the exact same thing I was going to bring up, because I'd like to see the other two sections voted on tonight.
Okay. The other thing I have a question on before we do any voting is number 1. What's wrong with the elm?
Oh, that's always been part of our policy.
Which elm? I mean, there's so many different elms. Some are
Right.
disease resistant.
Right. Yeah, and those are actually our existing code sections that we did not really assess. Those are something that Public Works would have to look at and update, actually. We can look at that, revisit that section, since we're going to come back with the other portion anyway.
Okay.
And we actually identified there may be another item that's not in this ordinance that we may want to change that's relatively minor, that we can come back with a revised package of some of those other things.
Trustee Mills?
Keep in mind, that's saying that those are illegal, or you shouldn't have them over utility easements or public rights-of-way. I think it has something to do with the root system, too, as I remember from years past. That you can put them in your private backyard, but you
Right.
just can't
No,
have
I
them
understand
in
that.
certain areas.
No, I'm wondering if this refers to the American elm, which had the Dutch elm disease, versus some of the other
Without
ones
looking
as
up the
well.
scientific name right now, I don't think we can answer it. So it could be the Dutch elm because of the obvious reason.
Right.
But this whole section about private property trees is not moving forward tonight.
I understand. Okay, so we have a motion and a second to, what was it, defer 1 through 3?
You're gonna,
No, approve 1 and 2
1 and 2.
defer 3.
Okay, well, it sounds like we need to defer 1 as well then.
No, because
Well,
that's current policy.
Right, that's already in the existing code.
Yeah, but we were going to look into whether or
Right,
not.
but we'd have to come back with a separate amendment to amend what's already in the code. You can't defer something
Okay.
that's already approved.
I understand what you're saying.
And 1 has to do with the grass, not with that's part of weeds, not.
Right. Section
trees.
2 is weeds, section 3 is weeds, and Section 4 is outside storage in the ordinance, so you're really just deleting the changes to C1 and C2,
B.
and then,
The addition of B.
and the addition of, you're right, correct. And the rest goes forward.
Does everybody understand that? Because I'm kind of lost myself, but that's fine. As long as everybody else understands. All right, all those in favor of the motion in the second say aye.
Aye.
Aye, or whatever. And any nays? No? Okay, motion's passed.
Do we have to do anything with that first motion that? Because we had two, technically, we had two
Yeah, I
motions.
did an amendment.
Yep.
Right.
You
I
did the
did second.
amendment, so we
With the vote
approved
on
the
the amendment,
amendment.
We have to vote on the first motion.
Yeah,
As,
As it was amended.
as it was
As
amended.
it was amended.
okay. All right, so is there a motion?
You had that. I mean, you have the original motion, and
Yes,
now
we
you
did.
get, and you had the motion to amend it, so now you just got to vote on that.
All right. So on the motion and the seconds, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. All right, moving on. We have 3 reports. First is the Planning Division Monthly Report. Any questions on that? Any questions to Pete about that? All right, well, we'll receive and file that. Second is Code Enforcement Division Monthly Report. Again, any questions out there for Pete, or any questions up here? Hearing none, we'll receive and file that. And Economic Development and Tourism Monthly Report. Any questions for Kevin? Kevin, you got anything to add? All right, thank you. That report will also be received and filed. President's report?
I'll wait for the board meeting.
Okay.
Mr. Chair?
Thank you. We have nothing another, and I'm assuming since it's not on our agenda for tonight, the item in review is going to be continued for another date. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. So looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
A second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. We are adjourned.
A short break, or you just want to go on? Okay.
Keep moving.
Carry on.
Yep.
Speaking of trucking, there's about 53,000 empty jobs in trucking business.
Yeah, I read that. This is unbelievable.
I got a call on the phone the other day.
They want you to be a trucker?
They want me to be a trucker.
Well, you worked in the moving industry, you know.
Oh, I hung up on them.
I'd like to call order the first meeting of the month of July. Can you call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Mills?
Present.
Trustee Newell?
Present.
Trustee Palafis?
Present.
Trustee Stanton?
Present.
Trustee Gata?
Present.
Trustee Arnett?
Present.
Mayor McLeod?
Present. Move on to item number 2, Pledge of Allegiance. Trustee Mills, will you lead us in the pledge? Thank you. Move on to recognition of the audience. This is the time if someone has a question or concern about an item that's not on the agenda this evening, when they want to talk to the village board and the village staff, now's the time to do that. Only once, twice, 3 times, and move on. Item number 4, approval of the minutes of the June 18th, 2018 meeting. Chair to accept a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion a second. Any questions or concerns on the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have a motion carried. Move on to the consent agenda. Chair to accept a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion a second. The items on the consent agenda improve. A, approval of the agenda. B, approval of the schedule of bills for July 2nd, 2018, the amount of $2,090,583.31. C, request board approval of an ordinance amending sections 13-5-1, 13-5-2, 13-5-3, 13-5-6, and 13-5-11, and adding new sections 13-5-14 and 13-5-15 of Article 3 Real Estate Transfer Tax of the Village of Hoffman Estates. D is request board approval of a resolution setting forth prevailing hourly wage rates paid to employees engaged in work awarded under public contract. E is request board acceptance of the comprehensive annual finance report for the year ended December 31st, 2017. F, request board acceptance of the Economic Development Area Special Tax Allocation Fund Annual Financial Report for the year ended December 31st, 2017. G, request board authorization to declare $204,886.09 as surplus funds in the Barrington Higgins TIF Tax Allocation Fund and direct the treasurer to remit said funds to the Cook County Treasurer for distribution. H, request board authorization for purchase and installation of 3 15-ton new POE oil compressors to replace existing equipment at the Sears Center Arena to Advantage Mechanical, McHenry, Illinois, in an amount not to exceed $25,723. I, request board authorization to extend 2017 contract for 2018-2019 janitorial maintenance service for Village Hall, Police Station, Susan Kinley Repnow Public Works Center, and the Fleet Services Facility to Echo Clean Maintenance, Inc., Elmhurst, Illinois, for a total contract monthly fee of $4,941 for a total amount not to exceed $59,292. Move on to J. Request board authorization to participate in the Northwest Municipal Conference Suburban Purchasing Cooperative for a one-year contract with Gas Depot, Morton Grove, Illinois, for joint purchase of diesel fuel and gasoline. K, request board authorization to award contract to Baxter & Woodman Consulting Engineers, Crystal Lake, Illinois, for engineering services required for compliance with the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District Infiltration Inflow Control Program in an amount not to exceed $273,000. We do have a motion to second. Any questions on any of these items? Seeing no questions, can you call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Mills?
Aye.
Trustee Newell?
Aye.
Trustee Palafis?
Aye.
Trustee Stanton?
Aye.
Trustee Gata?
Aye.
Trustee Arnett?
Aye.
Mayor McLeod?
Aye, motion carried. Move on to President's Report. We do have some board and commission appointments that everybody is given a memo on. It's for Canon Ramasamy, Commission for People with Disabilities, Damon McDade, Cultural Awareness Commission, Samuel Jackson for the Plants Concert Commission. Chair would accept a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion a second. Let's have a roll call vote on that, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Mills?
Aye.
Trustee Newell?
Aye.
Trustee Palafis?
Aye.
Trustee Stanton?
Aye.
Trustee Gata?
Aye.
Trustee Arnett?
Aye.
Mayor McLeod?
Aye, motion carried. A couple of things. We've got to wish Trustee Mills a happy birthday, which is coming up on Sunday, I believe.
Thank you.
And we've got events going on with the Northwest Fourth Fest coming this week. The 4th of July Commission has worked extremely hard this year to put together a fantastic lineup of activities, starting with the 4th of July Parade on Illinois Boulevard, starting at 9 a.m. We've ordered great weather with lots of sunshine. Oh, yeah, okay, I have. Carnival-only nights will be held on Wednesday and Thursday night, and the festival kicks off at 5:30 p.m. on Friday night, featuring live entertainment, food, drinks, and more. The fest on Saturday will feature the Arts and Crafts Fair inside the Sears Arena, starting at 9 a.m. The day will include games, a petting zoo, bounce houses, a pie eating contest, and much more. Another strong entertainment lineup will take the stage on Saturday night, beginning at 4:30 p.m. with the Good Clean Fun Band. Fireworks, this will be at 9:30 p.m. on Saturday night, July 7th. Be sure to bring blankets and chairs. The fest wraps up on Sunday, July 8th, with the Indoor Arts and Crafts Festival starting at 10 a.m. The carnival and festival activities will run through 6 p.m., with High Fidelity capping off the night on the main stage at 4:30 p.m. For any information you want on this, visit www.northwestfourthfest.com. That's www.northwestfourthfest.com. Hope to see you all out at the festival. Okay, this week on Wednesday, June 27th, we had the Wine Wednesday at the Craft Canteen at the Village Green. It was a very good event, and there was a movie involved, too, the next night. Okay, Thursday, we had the Summer Sounds on the Green, 4th concert of the year, which was very good. And on Friday, June 29th, we had a Code 3 at Willow Recreation Center. Your folks did a great job. Chief Fortunato explaining what happened at the fire on Charleston Lane. We actually had a nice turnout for that, and it shows that people are really caring and concerned. On Saturday, June 30th, several of us walked in the CAC 5K walk run. It was a scorcher. It was a real scorcher. And then after that, my wife Joni and I, we actually went to a couple of wakes, one involving the grandmother of her nieces and nephews, and the other one was Joyce Totten, the late wife of Donald Totten, who was a longtime political fixture in Schaumburg Township, and it was great to see so many people there. It was kind of, well, it's probably inappropriate to say, but it's kind of funny. It was like a precinct captain's meeting. All the old line people showed up. It was really cool. They were there to support Don in a really tough time. But he looks great. He's hanging in there. But, it's just a very unfortunate situation. Move on to 6B, trustee comments, starting with trustee Arnett.
Thank you. I also had the opportunity to attend the CAC 5K walk on Saturday, and they do an awesome job. I think every year they do this. And yes, it was extremely hot, but we made it through, and it's for a good cause. And happy birthday to Karen Mills. That's all I have.
Trustee Stanton.
I just have a few more things than that. On the 20th, I attended the Northwest Municipal Conference Gala Dinner. And on the 23rd, I was able to attend the Hoffman Estates Park District All-Star Game at Cannon Crossings Park. And Karen, you were there too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and Karen Mills was there, and Trustee Gaeta was there. And I was able to throw out the first pitch, and surprisingly, they let me keep the baseball after I gave it back to them. They said, no, it's yours.
That's cool.
And that was very nice. And on the 30th, I was able to attend the CAC, but I attended about 10 o'clock in the morning, well after everybody was done. Yeah, so it was a short visit. And happy birthday to Trustee Mills.
Thank you.
Trustee Mills.
Well, while most of you were having a good time at the Northwest Gala on the 20th, I was at the Northwest Mosquito Abatement District meeting. So I was thinking of all of you that evening. 21st, the mayor and I attended the Jerry Bartnicki retirement, along with Anna Newell there, and it was really a great event. Jerry's been a great asset to our community for years, and she will be sorely missed, I'm sure, at the township. On the 23rd, as Trustee Stanton said, we were several of us at the Park District's All-Star Game, and Trustee Stanton did an excellent job throwing out that first pitch. We're going to sign him up for the Cubs, but he'd want to be the White Sox, I know. And on the 27th, at Wine Wednesday at the new Craft Canteen, which is really a great place, and fun to see it up there at the Village Green this year. I hope they have some good success. And that's it, and thank you all for all the nice birthday thoughts. That's all.
I have to add one thing. If anybody
Right.
wanted to sign me up, I would take Sox, Cubs, or anybody else. At my age, that'd be great.
Okay, the Kansas City Royals are actually even worse than the White Sox. So.
We can have you go up for the softball for the police and fire fundraiser.
There you go.
It's too bad I don't have that stuff that Ray Milland had, and it happens every
Oh,
spring.
yeah, that was a great movie, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
I could pitch all the time then.
Trustee Palafis.
Also want to wish Karen a happy birthday, and looking forward to all of the Fourth Fest activities this week. That's all for me.
Okay, Trustee Newell.
Not much, pretty much the same. The 21st, thank you, Mayor, for reading the wonderful proclamation for Jerry Bartnick, who has done quite a lot in 34 years for the disability and senior community.
Thank you for writing it.
We all had parts in that one.
That was a great one.
And the 28th, the Village Green concert, which was the country band this time. On the 30th, did the CAC walk, and I think we all sweated off a couple of pounds, all of us. And happy birthday to Trustee Mills, many more, and happy and safe Fourth to everyone, whatever you decide to do.
Thank you, Trustee Gaeta.
There we go. Well, the last week as far as the gala and so forth, right? I thought that we all said that we had gone there, but it doesn't make any difference. Wednesday, the 27th, Wine Wednesday at the new Craft Canteen and the Village Green, and that screen was unbelievable, 60 by 30 feet, okay? That everybody could see, right? And not only that, there was close to 300 people, what Ben and I were just looking at. But they're going to have every Wednesday, it's going to be movie night there. So come there hungry. because the food there, the hot dogs, the hamburgers, and everything else is good. The beer is also, and so is the wine. Everybody will have a good time. Then on Saturday the 30th, the Children's Advocate Center of the 5K walk. I was there, but I wasn't going to walk. I noticed that the mayor and his lovely wife, Joni, they were walking, and I waved to them as they were going by, right? But other than that, and they said there was almost 200.
Yeah, it was
200
amazing.
walkers. That's unbelievable. That's a good fundraiser for them, too. And happy birthday to trustee Karen Mills. That's all I have, Mayor.
Hey, trustees Arnett and Newell also walked the route, as they said, and maybe, Gary, you and I should talk to Ben, and maybe we get It Happened Every Spring to be the next movie. I love that movie. Okay, we'll move on to C, Village Manager's Report.
First, happy birthday to trustee Mills.
Thank you.
Secondly, Matthew, would you stand up? I'd like to introduce the board and the community to Matthew Galloway. Matthew's our new intern, will be with us approximately 2 years, and he's a graduate student at NIU.
Of course.
Welcome, Matthew. Why don't you come up here and take it on?
There we go. Congratulations and good luck.
Got the lanyard and everything.
Glad to have you on board.
He's paying attention.
Thank you. Okay, I'll move on to 6D, the Village Clerk's Report.
During the month of June, 164 FOIAs and 56 passports came through. I couldn't walk on Saturday, I had a wedding, but just to make you guys feel better, the ceremony was outside, and believe me, I was not a happy camper. But we sat out there, unlike many other relatives who stayed inside, but that's it.
You're tough, Bev, we know that.
I'm happy.
Move on to 6E, Committee Reports, Public Health and Safety, Trustee Gata.
Yes, Public Health and Safety will meet on July 16th, 2018. We will have a roll call to establish a quorum. After that, approval of the minutes of June 25th, 2018. Under new business, we have 2 items. 1, request approval, resolution authorizing the village president to enter into an intergovernmental agreement between the Village of Hoffman Estates and the School District 54 regarding the School Resource Officer Program. Number 2, to request approval of resolution authorizing the village president to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with the Northern Illinois Police Alarm System, known as NAPIS. And excuse me, under reports, information only, we have 4 monthly reports. 1, Police Department monthly report. 2, Health and Human Services monthly report. 3, Emergency Management Coordinator monthly report. 4, Fire Department monthly report. Then we would have a President's report if there's anything in other items in review, and we will adjourn.
Thank you. Finance, Trustee Palafis.
Thank you. Immediately following Public Health and Safety, we'll call to order to establish quorum. We will approve the minutes of June 25th, 2018, and July 2nd, 2018 for the Special Finance Committee. We have 3 items under new business. The first is request approval to obtain bids to seal coat the Sears Center Arena parking lots. Number 2 is request approval of a resolution concerning the intervention by corporate counsel on cases before the State of Illinois Property Tax Appeal Board, PTAB. Item number 3 is a request authorization to a bid and award to contract to Hewlett-Packard for the purchase of 65 desktop computers in an amount not to exceed $43,225. We will then have the reports for information only, a Finance Department monthly report, Information Systems Department monthly report, and the Sears Center monthly report. If needed, a President's report, anything other that people may want to approach us about. No items in review, and then we will adjourn.
Thank you, Trustee Palafis.
Thank you,
Trustee Newell, Public Works and Utilities.
Okay. Also on July 16th, we will have the Public Works and Utility Committee meet. We'll have a roll call and then approval of minutes from June 25th, 2018. Under new business, we have only one item, which is the request approval to reject all bids received for the 2018 Public Works Astor Lane Storage Building, roofing, siding, and fascia replacement. Under reports for information only, you will have the one which will be Department of Public Works Monthly Report, Item 2, Department of Development Services Monthly Engineering Report of the Transportation and Engineering Division. We'll have additional President's Report if there is anything. There's nothing under other items in review, and we will adjourn.
Thank you, Trustee Newell. Move on to Planning and Zoning Commission. Chairperson Combs, come on down. It's not 10 o'clock at night.
I know. I think we should all just sit here and wait. Planning and Zoning Commission recommended for approval a request by James Nelson, owner, for a 1-foot 9-inch setback variation from Section 9-3-6-H of the zoning code to permit a 5-foot 1-inch setback instead of the minimum of 7 feet for a detached garage at 595 Geronimo Street with 3 conditions. Vote was 8 ayes, 3 absent.
Chair would accept a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
It's a motion, a second. Any questions on this one? Trustee Stanton.
Is the owner here?
I believe so.
I just have a.
Come on up, sir. This is being recorded and it's on live TV. We have to have everybody speaking to a mic. Do you want to identify yourself, name and address for the record, sir?
James R. Nelson, 595 Geronimo Street, Hoffman Estates.
Okay, Trustee Stanton.
It's just kind of a silly question that I'm bringing you up here for.
I'm fine with that.
I'm thinking that you have all these people in your house and you're redoing the house and you only have 1 bathroom.
No.
Why didn't you add a second bathroom in like the mudroom or something?
No. Kirk, we have 2 bathrooms, and we're going to be adding another one.
Oh, you do have
Yeah.
one? Okay, because I didn't see it on the drawings.
I didn't think we needed to put a bathroom for a detached garage.
Okay.
And you didn't.
And you didn't. Oh, the detached garage is fine.
They're going to put a living room in the
But there is a living room.
You do have a living room, right? There's a great
Room now. All right, no other questions.
Okay, any other questions? Seeing no other questions, can you call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Mills.
Aye.
Trustee Newell.
Aye.
Trustee Palafis.
Aye.
Trustee Stanton.
Aye.
Trustee Gata.
Aye.
Trustee Arnett.
Aye.
Mayor McLeod.
Aye, motion carried.
Planning and Zoning Commission recommended for approval a request by Butera Property LLC owner and Maytong Massage LTD DBA Happy Foot applicant for a special use under Section 9-8-2-C-9 to permit a foot massage business on the property located at 1007 West Gulf Road in the Hoffman Hoffman Center Shopping Plaza with 1 condition, but was 8 ayes, 3 absent.
Chair will accept the motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion is second. Any questions on this one? Trustee
I don't
Stanton.
have a question about this, except, do we still have the massage place in Strawberry Hill, or is that not functioning anymore?
No, it's been gone for some time,
It
at
has.
least a year.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, any other questions? Seeing none, can you pull the board, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Mills. Aye. Trustee Newell.
Aye.
Trustee Palafis.
Aye.
Trustee Stanton.
Aye.
Trustee Gata.
Aye.
Trustee Arnett.
Aye.
Mayor McLeod.
Aye, motion carried.
Planning and Zoning Commission recommends for approval a request by Township of Schaumburg owner for a special use under Section 9-3-8-L-8 to permit a governmental community information sign, including an electronic message center on the property located at 1 Illinois Boulevard with 1 condition. The vote was 9 ayes, 2 absent. There is somebody, one of the residents, that wishes to address you.
Okay, Chair will accept a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
It's a motion, a second. Any questions from the board? Trustee Palafis.
Oh, never mind.
Okay, Trustee Newell.
I abstain because I work for the township.
Okay,
Guess I have a question.
yes, go ahead.
There was some discussion as to whether or not the township was willing to move a sign at a little different location. Did they ever look at it, or we don't know?
We have 2 people here on that issue.
If you can come on up, identify yourself for the record, and you know the drill.
You look like me.
My name is Rob Friedman, QT Signs. I am representing the Township of Schaumburg. Yes, I did breach the subject with the administrator who I have been dealing with, and it is something that is ongoing. As we get into this, I am going to see if we can't get him to move it back a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, that's the best I can do because it was approved with the variation and setback that is existing.
Sure.
So all I can do is, ask them, and which I have already broached the subject with them.
And they have not answered you yet?
No, we're still in the, we don't even know for sure until you people vote whether it's actually a go. We haven't even ordered the electronic message center yet.
We appreciate your candor. Are there any other questions, sir? Is there anyone in the audience who wants to speak to this issue? Yes, come on up, identify yourself, name and address for the record.
I don't walk any better, so. Never have knee replacement. My name is Jody Mitchell, and I live at 345 Illinois Boulevard in Hoffman Estates. I did go to the zoning and planning meeting this past week, and I did get some of my questions answered, but I would like to bring up a couple items. I'd also like to say thank you very much, Trustee Newell, for recusing yourself. We appreciate that because it is a conflict of interest with your position over there. So we appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Well, that's not totally established, but Trustee Newell decided not to vote on this.
Well, we appreciate it. The issue that we have with the current sign, which is going to be with the new sign also, vehicles that are traveling southbound on Illinois Boulevard trying to exit, whether you're going right or west or east or left, once you hit Schaumburg Road, you have to take your vehicle actually into the crosswalk, which blocks our sidewalk to the right and to the left. Now, we have the high school, we have Schaumburg High School down on Schaumburg Road. The kids walk home from school, they go over to the library. This is all east, of the township building. And it's a great concern because we are getting so many vehicles on Illinois Boulevard. The congestion is incredible. And these people, we have families with strollers and kids, we've got the high school kids, we've got pedestrians. They're having to meander their way in between the vehicles. And the line is just endless. So there's not a time when it's clear for them. So we're worried about this. And like I said, if you are behind the crosswalk, you can't see past the existing sign, which is an issue with the new sign. So we were the ones that, brought it to their attention. You might want to move it back just a little bit for safety issues with people. And then something else I wanted to mention is residential doesn't always mix with commercial, and Illinois Boulevard has 5 major commercial structures on it. The newest one is the Community Baptist Church at Rose Ellen, Illinois. Then we have the Children's Advocacy Center, the Temple, the 2-story brick church that is in my 300 block, and also the Schaumburg Township. If we're allowing one of these entities to have a electric message center, am I properly calling this sign what it is? Are we opening the door for all of these other commercial entities on Illinois Boulevard to do the same?
I think anyone can apply for anything they want, but I don't think that's the intention at all.
Okay.
We as a village government, with our codes, have to be careful on how we label. We can't label the way you did. Churches are permitted uses in residential zones, so they're not considered commercial. I understand that they're an enterprise of sorts, they're an institution, but we can't label them the same way you did.
Okay.
No, we're not-for-profit, so it's a little bit different from how we can look at it. But in terms of signage, it has the same
I apologize if I
impact.
have labeled them incorrectly, but the bottom line is the traffic that they all create is something that we have to deal with as residents. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Appreciate that, thank you. Anyone else want to speak on this issue? Any more questions from the board? Trustee Gata?
Yes. Approximately, how many feet are you talking about as far as that sign to be moved backward from a safety standpoint? Would you answer that question?
Ms. Mitchell, can you come back up and,
I could not give a definitive answer. You would have to go out there and see what an obstruction it is with pulling your own vehicle there and seeing how far you have to go up before you can make clearance of the sign, so that you have the visual clearance needed to pull out onto Schaumburg Road safely.
Okay.
yes,
We'll ask Mike Hankey, our traffic engineer, to look at it. And looking at the aerial right now, the sign, the existing sign is basically even with the stop bar. And if to actually see to make the turn, whether the sign where it is there or not, more than likely you'd have to scoot up. After you come to a full stop, you then can proceed through the crosswalk. If you stop at the stop bar the way you're supposed to under the uniform, under the Illinois Traffic Code, then you would proceed up the crosswalk, nobody being it, then you can make the turn. I can see where the comment's coming from because it is right there, but we'll have our transportation engineer look at it. The other part of this is that to move a pedestal of a sign is a significant additional expense, something that the township would have to look at.
Is it?
Thank you. Yes, sir. Do you want to add something?
Go ahead.
I was out there Friday to remove the public hearing signs that were up for the zoning board meeting. I understand what she's saying, but when you pull up to that stop bar, the property to the west, they have a full fence. You have to pull forward into the crosswalk to see past that fence to see what's coming eastbound.
That's correct.
Thank you. Anything else?
I think also it's exacerbated by the fact it's not a true perpendicular intersection.
No, it's not. The Tree Bark Drive on the opposite side of Schaumburg Road is offset, so it's not a straight intersection. There's also a slope, a
Well, I
small
think Schaumburg is
slope.
kind of at an
Yes.
angle too, right
Right,
there.
it is. So there's nothing appropriately geometric about the intersection.
Trustee Palafis, you had something?
Mr. Norris got my question and his explanation, so I'm good.
Anyone else want to speak to this issue?
I guess the other
The
thing
board?
we should look into too, if the fence is an obstruction, is that something where somebody actually has a variance to build the fence in that location?
We'd have to look at the history of that existing fence.
Okay.
Mr. Gugliotta.
We did have, actually, after the planning and zoning meeting, the transportation director did visit the site again. He has verified that the crash data does not show any accidents relative to any movements in and out of Illinois. And it is true, if you stop properly under the law like you're supposed to at the stop bar, you do need to creep forward before you enter the intersection fully in order to see. But that is a condition that exists at many, many intersections with landscaping, fences, signage. So it does require caution. Obviously, if you stop where you're supposed to stop and there are pedestrians, they have the right of way across, once they step into the street, so you have to wait anyway. He did look at it, and it's easy to evaluate. He did not feel there to be a safety issue with it. It's easy to evaluate because the sign structure exists today. So you can see it, it's been there for quite a number of years and was approved that way a long time ago. So I just wanted to interject that he did have a chance to take a look at it.
Thank you. Trustee Mills.
How much taller is this sign compared to the current one? Do we know?
Size.
Same size? Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Trustee Gay, do you have something?
No,
No.
no, thank you.
Okay, seeing no other questions, can you pull the board, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Mills?
Aye.
Trustee Newell?
Abstain.
Trustee Palafis?
Aye.
Trustee Stanton?
Aye.
Trustee Gata?
Aye.
Trustee Yarnett?
Aye.
Mayor McLeod?
Aye, motion carried. Move on to additional business 8A. Request board approval of an ordinance amending section 7-8-9, certain weeds and trees prohibited, and section 11-1-2-F, property maintenance code of the Village of Hoffman Estates. This particular item was amended,
Yeah.
so we'll be voting on the amended.
I'll make a motion to approve the amended ordinance as noted.
Second.
There's a motion, a second. Any questions on this one? See no questions, can you pull the board, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Mills?
Aye.
Trustee Newell?
Aye.
Trustee Palafis?
Aye.
Trustee Stanton?
Aye.
Trustee Gata?
Aye.
Trustee Yarnett?
Aye.
Mayor McLeod?
Aye, motion carried. Move on to 8B. Request board approval to dispose of village records that have exceeded their state-required retention period.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
It's a motion, there's a second. Any questions on this one? Seeing none, can you pull the board, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Mills?
Aye.
Trustee Newell?
Aye.
Trustee Palafis?
Aye.
Trustee Stanton?
Aye.
Trustee Gata?
Aye.
Trustee Yarnett?
Aye.
Mayor McLeod?
Aye, motion carried. Going to 8C. Request board approval of contract for Phase 2 of writing the history of the Village of Hoffman Estates book to Dr. Mark Reynolds in an amount not to exceed $30,000 to be paid from funds donated specifically for this purpose.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion is second. Any questions on this item? Seeing none, can you pull the board, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Mills?
Aye.
Trustee Newell?
Aye.
Trustee Palafis?
Aye.
Trustee Stanton?
Aye.
Trustee Gata?
Aye.
Trustee Arnett?
Aye.
Mayor McLeod?
Aye, motion carried. Chair would accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second, any questions on the adjournment? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it, motion carried. Thank you very much.
I'd like to call to order the, sorry.
Got to change the guard here. Good night, Beth.
Good night,
You going
Bob.
to stick around?
No.
In solidarity with us? No.
That was a very definite no.
What an attitude.
Just got to try to finish before you were out of the building.
Jeez.
That's the one thing about Bev, you never know when she stands, where she stands.
Ready? It's fast on the trigger there. I'd like to call to order the Special Finance Committee for July 2nd, 2018. Could I have a roll call, please?
Chairperson Palafis.
Present.
Vice Chairperson Newell.
Present.
Trustee Gata.
Present.
Trustee Mills.
Present?
Trustee Stanton.
Present.
Trustee Arnett.
Present.
Mayor McLeod.
Present.
We have a quorum, and we have one item under new business, which is a request approval of an ordinance authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $39,500,000 general obligation refunding bonds, Series 2018 of the Village of Hoffman Estates, Cook and Kane Counties, Illinois, authorizing the execution of a bond order for each series of bonds, authorizing the execution of a refunding escrow agreement, and for the levy of a direct annual tax sufficient to pay the principal and interest on said bonds.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Mayor?
Yeah, Director Musiala, can you explain what this is all about?
Sure.
For people listening.
All of the village's debt is refundable after 10 years. And so when the 10-year mark hits, we always take a look at the current bond market to see what are rates doing, and if we did refund, would we experience a savings? So we took a look at the 2008 and 2009 bonds, which were issued, of course, back in 2008 and 2009. And when they were issued, they had a call date of December 1st, 2018. So market conditions are very favorable right now. And if we do proceed with this refunding, where we get rid of all the old debt and issue new debt, we could experience quite a significant amount of savings. I mentioned in the packet that it would be approximately $4.2 million of present value savings over the life of the bonds, and about 11.278% present value savings. Normally, if it's above 3%, it's very favorable, and we should probably proceed. So right now, things are looking very, very good.
Okay, what were these bonds issued for originally?
So the 2008 bonds were issued for the Village Hall remodeling, the new water tower out west, purchasing the land for the police station, and the construction of the fire station out west. The 2009 bonds were used for the construction of the new police station.
Thank you.
Great question. Trustee Stanton?
How long were those initial bonds for?
So those were issued to mature through 2038, and these new bonds would be issued for the same time period.
Okay, so we're not adding any more years.
We're not extending the years.
Great.
Did that answer your question from before? Because that was a good question.
Yeah, that
Okay.
did.
Anybody else? Questions, comments? Alrighty. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Thank you, have a good night.
Great job, Anthony. Tell Kevin